And so, you know, it's no accident. Twice in the movie, they referred to the character Beetlejuice with the spelling of the star Beetlejuice, which looks like Beetlejuice. And so they made it clear that they're referencing that star. So when we went back to watch the movie, there's a lot of symbolism in it. First of all, the house is representing planet Earth, and it's representing the upstairs represented the astral world where these people were now stuck, and downstairs represented the world of the living, the human, where the humans are. Fourth dimension, if you will, if we had to put numbers on it, represented where those worms were, and these spirits could not get out. So in order to get their house back, get back in control, they were going to call Beetlejuice. And Juno, which was the creator role aspect, and they showed a conveyor belt of people coming in, coming out, dying, being born. They showed that conveyor belt in there. And she pretty much said, do not call Beetlejuice. He will exorcise your dead, everyone. That's ancestors. Woo. What they're talking about, what she was saying is that particular light is something that can, now, actually, before we even go there, there's a book called Astral Travel by Yvonne and Gavin Frost. It's probably the most standard astral travel book in the world because it's called Astral Travel. And it's not really a great book. Since it's written by two authors in the beginning, whoever wrote in the beginning, but the second half really picks up because they give you a lot of, when you learn the astral travel, expect these kind of things. And one of the things they talk about is that learning doesn't stop after you leave the body. There are plenty of entities, and I found this to be absolutely true later on, that still get an education beyond the body. There's some who've left the body and their spirits have made contact with me just to keep on with the study. So in other words, the ancestors would be waiting for knowledge as well too. What is knowledge? Light. So this particular Beetlejuice star in Orion's shoulder has been losing light. It was considered by whatever white standard the 11th brightest star. It is now the 24th. It has been losing light. Now, let's say this is point A and this is point B. There's a certain amount of distance between where we are at point B and where this star is at point A. And light travels at a certain speed. So if this may have happened 10, 20, 30 years ago, the light still takes a time to get from point A to point B. So what we're seeing now may be the tail end of something that already happened, just we're receiving the light now. So we're receiving the light on something that's already happened in this part of the universe. That's why we're able to visualize it with their Hubble bullshit. But it's really only looking at something that's happening in the mind. And this happens because of our circumstance and our consciousness and blah, 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 blah. When this light comes, this is an event. No matter how we slice it, this is a phenomenon that happened and always happens in consciousness. So around about 2006 or 7, I started to question myself, like, what the fuck are we doing this for? The fuck are we standing in front of people, yo, this and that, and if you knock 3 times on the ceiling and turn around, fucking Miss Mary Magdalene will appear. Why are we doing all of this shit? And then the spirit answered, and I seen Al Gore's first installment of, what was his documentary about greenhouse effect, whatever that was. He did a whole greenhouse effect documentary. And what he did in one sitting was document all the destruction of the greenhouse effect. Then I was absolutely clear on what we were doing it for. I was absolutely clear on what was happening when our voices was heard, where we think we just talking to empty heads that's going to be Christian anyway. When we're doing all of this talking for all these years, then Sinetta could put up a picture of Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, and Jesus, and your whole shit, you will have to sit, after you watch that tape, you have to sit in the fucking house for a week and a half just to recuperate after you thinking you doing what you doing, and here we are. You see the true psyche. So you kind of know it's not going to be with, it's got to be something spiritual that must happen. You get what I'm saying? Our best position is to be aware and awake and ready for that spiritual transformation. It's not going to happen with our sweat and stick, because by the time you figure who that guy is, there's always somebody ready to kill him. There's always somebody ready to say he's a fraud. Always somebody to say, where the fuck's the money at? You know what I'm saying? So it'll never work through these means. It's a spiritual thing, and this is why the occult is the absolute positive way we need to go. The occult is not a religion. The occult is a particular understanding you must come through personally. You can't do the occult like I do it. So I can't tell you how to do it, and I can't judge if you're doing it right. Occult means hidden culture. So what it means is you're working on your spirit. So your spirit and my spirit may have two different things going on. So I don't even look for, it's nice if we do come across with the same agenda, but I don't look for it, and it's not necessary, because the occult understanding of this reality is not a religion. It's a way to look with clear glasses at what motivates that which is apparently in front of you. So if you're looking from what is the gasoline behind whatever action, and if you start thinking you can control where the gas goes, then you can start to control where the action. We're just really talking about cause and effect here. The cause, when you understand the occult, is a hidden cause. The effect is the apparent shit around you. You get what I'm saying? So you want to focus, the occult is practicing first and then mastering the art of the cause, that hidden cause. So when you do ritual, when you do certain things that look imaginary, you're interfacing with invisible. And the invisible is imaginary to the world of the real. So you're dealing in the real, in the realm of imagination and in the realm of visualization, just like a child. A child does that naturally because a child just came from that world, and that was the order of operation there. So if you're trying to move and operate in this world, you know there's a true hidden world that runs it. And that hidden world is accessed through specific means. Two ways. It can be accessed through traditional means, where you see niggas getting initiated and adorning themselves with all sorts of shit. They don't even know what the fuck it is until somebody told them that's what the fuck it is. Or there's the occultist that understands beyond the tradition, the religion, beyond the what's the word I'm looking for? Superstition. Beyond all of that, there's a way to access this energy directly. This energy is nothing more than a detailed definition of your mind. And if you truly know thyself, you don't need the pageantry to start working and exercising your mind. This shit is about calisthenics. So your mind goes as far as the push-ups you did. The push-ups you do are through meditation, through affirmation. You get what I'm saying? Through straight understanding of self and your undying need to know. An undying need to know. Not how much you want to lecture, not how much you think you'll know to catch up to whatever. How much you want to know for yourself. For no other reason but to know. Not to make your business pop, not to make, you know, the pussy game, the pussy pimp ham stronger, or whatever fucking your mixtape, whatever niggas got going on, you gotta put those worldly things down and understand, first and foremost, you have to be honest with yourself and make a commitment to yourself for absolute honesty, no matter what it takes you. And this will conflict with your ego. This will conflict with it, but it's designed to, it's supposed to, because the ego isn't real. And if you are dedicated to find that which is real, the first thing you must check is the shit coming out your own head about yourself, because that's the first thing you know is fake, and you know it's fake. Come on. If you got 10 pieces of pussy, you telling the world you got 15. That's what humanity does. You have to be honest with yourself on that level. And then when you start turning it in, you start seeing that you're responsible for a lot. You start taking responsibility for the cause again. And then you realize that the cause of everything in this existence that you perceive is your responsibility. And then you start to really understand the weight of what God really means. And then it becomes easier for you just to put twisties in your fucking hair and say fucking hotel. And then it becomes easier for you to stand on 125th Street and just argue with niggas about their shit, because you don't have to deal with your shit. But see, you can't have it both ways with this. That's why the power of the occult is the power of reality. We are in a time now where reality is in this ultimate revelation. This is why Trump is doing the job that he's doing. American presidents from day one that I can imagine, but as soon as it mattered enough, would lie to maintain the status quo. In fact, we know that everything we said as Black men and women, even before consciousness, we knew they were telling us a fucking lie. Even Kanye West is sitting there talking about George Bush ain't do nothing he don't like Black people. We know that. That's standard. But the only thing they could stand on is that they had a good fucking hustle going. They at least could say, well, we trying to help Black people. I know I know y'all getting fucked up, but we're gonna do better. We trying to do that, and we're adding more to do that, and we're more aware of that. They could say that. But with Trump, they no longer can even go around the world with that particular lie anymore. In other words, as I pointed, reality is at an extreme height in this moment as we shift to what we call the Sati Yuga. We are now in a golden age, blown. That light coming here, Beetlejuice, is us now full-fledged in this golden age. We run this. They showed you in the last Avengers what happened to Captain America. He got old on that bench, remember? Who did he give his shield to? Black man. They're telling you they got to give America back. When they gave the shield back to the Black man, look at the star, full-fledged Baphomet. He said, yo, here you go. I'm giving it back. He said, I don't know what to do with it, that old corny-ass, falcon-ass nigga. I don't know what to do with it. He said, oh, you'll know just what to do with it. Watch it again. And then even Thor, who represented the God force, who represented the mythological aspect of the Avengers, who did he make the queen of Asgard on Earth? The Black girl, who played the Valkyrie. Here you go, you the queen. They giving up the guard, nigga. I'm telling you, we just too fucking dependent on the motherfuckers to know they gave it up. That's what they did. All right, we turning it off. We ran out of tricks. Trump is not like their Illuminati Trick, he's the end result of their magic is over. So he shows you every day the aspect of this shit that was supposed to be the hustle ain't got no more hustle. It is what it is. A fat, greedy, racist, rapist, grab them by the pussy, orange clone from the caves, yodeling ass cracker is in the motherfucking White House. And that's how it's always been. But now the covers have been pulled back. And this is because your time, your light is here. We just don't know it because we're doing it. And their last ditch effort was to lock you in that Black Lives Matter shit and let you niggas talk woke in it so you feel you made progress. So that's why Nick Cage is up in this motherfucker just pop locking, talking about Jews. And they said, well, we're not over yet. You know what I'm saying? We're going to try this and try that. But he's bold because Black Lives Matter has been let to be made a little bit bolder with what they say. I can hear it in their commentaries because they want to create the illusion that we're somehow making this progress. And they want us to make progress on that track. But the reality is, this is ours again. And really, we only up now to drive the fuck out of here. Not really just to hang around and play around anymore and be like, oh shit, we back. Let's make mangoes again and everybody make a mixtape. You know what I'm saying? About fucking 400 record labels. No, it's time to move on. This is that waking up period. The ancestors, all of that. And for me, I started to feel what was coming next for niggas. And I started to feel it because I'm not inhibited by holding on to some hope shit. More people would feel it just as much as I would. I'm not that special if they would just let go of the hope. Because at the end of the day, no matter how spiritual niggas are, they still want to hang around and see white people get beat up. And I'm like, nigga, I don't even care about that shit. This has all been about us. So once you start getting rid of shit like that, your cup becomes empty. And if your cup is empty, you know what I'm saying? What I'm telling you now is being filled up with that light. But if you have a full cup thinking you this fucking lecturer speaker, I know what I know, motherfucker, is going to go right over your head. And you're going to miss the early. You're going to have to get it when everybody else get it, nigga, later. Right now it's happening. And really the characteristics, they know what was going to happen because they keep talking about the characteristics of it because it's happening. Like I said, it started happening to me. They showed it also in the Avengers, not Endgame, Infinity Wars, when Doctor Strange had to figure out what was the best thing and most logical thing for him to do. And he was able to peruse all the different parallel universes to come up with the best scenario for his outcome. This is an attribute of the fifth dimension. In Men in Black 3, this is one of the attributes that the alien who they describe as being from the fifth dimension had. The ability to sit down in any parallel universe that was created to observe it. That's a fifth dimensional attribute, and most conscious people are going there next because all the parallel lives that they created that's in the form of data in the quantum world, they're now able to view those lives. You know, their lives will pass before them, and they're able to view them and pick the best possible scenario. And out of all their lives, pick the best possible scenario. This is how you perfect your mind, because none of this shit happened. All the shit was just a dream, and all the parallels of the universe are how you study a scenario or a thought that you're playing out as a personality down here, as Brother Rich or Brother Panic or whoever. And as you playing it out, all of these parallel choices are happening. On the fifth dimension, I can view those choices. And then perfect that shit. So as I move on to that cosmic being, that cosmic star that is responsible for a system being around me, where I populated with my subconscious mind, just like they said in the movie what was that shit? Inception, when they was building in the dreams, and when she's in the dream, it's like, who all of these subconscious, who all these people around? Said, you filled this world up with your subconscious mind. We do that all the time, and we create and live in scenarios and make scenarios for ourselves to entertain ourselves. And then when we need more, we can go through something like this. When we want to recruit others to come, we can go through something like this. And some have to go through things like this. Richmond to go take a shit. Some have to go through things like this. Lizzie, I think there is. There you go. Like you must have yeah. So some have to go. Okay, yeah. So some go through this. You know, like I've always maintained, and I've gotten it stronger, that we are here for many different reasons. We're not all here under the same reason. Like the reasons, the idea that we all here and have one plight is the same kind of thing. We were all slaves, and we all got chopped up, and we all don't know, so we all have this problem. So we have this collective mentality all over. But shit, you've met certain niggas, and you know, I don't know who the fuck them niggas are. You know what I'm saying? And then you met other niggas like, oh, those are great niggas, but I still don't know who them niggas are. And you kind of feel we're the same, but it seems like we have different business. And it's not necessarily bad or good, but we need to understand it's not just a uniform thing or uniform. Oh, I get it. Rich ain't want anybody to see him eating a sandwich. So like it's like a uniform thing where we got this idea that it's this uniform thing, and then if someone that's we all doing. Oh, did I hit that? Let me do that. I must have did by mistake. Oh yeah. Come on, video, get back there. Why is it doing that? Oh, is something? What? Is it saying that? There we go. All right, that was weird.
Good.
Oh, hold on, let me.
Panic, while you do that, let me give a shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Listen, shout out to everybody in the chat showing support. I see y'all. We about 1,600 strong right now.
Okay.
Tell everybody, tell all your friends that the occult master's in the building. Let's get this
sir.
An amazing show tonight, family. Go ahead, my brother Panic.
Yes. We're gonna get on it. Get on it.
Oh, Panic, real quick.
Yes, sir.
You want to give a shout out to my mother. Today would have been her birthday.
Miss Adrian Merritt.
Yes.
Let's give a shout out to that. Let's give a moment.
July 17th, she's a Cancer. She would have been, she passed away in 2008. She would have been 65 today.